In this video, we're going to do an extended look at Kinsta hosting. Our extended look videos are for those entities that we are familiar with, whether it's products, services, resources that we use or that we use by proxy to support our clients. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping before we dive in. If you want videos like this created for your entity, whether you have a plugin, a theme, a community, whatever that might be, we make it super simple and free to join as a partner with InfluenceWP. So if you go to influencewp.com and then go up here under the menu under pressers and go to pricing, you'll see a link here to list for free. Click on that and you will see this partner tab right here. Just click on that and expand it, and it's going to give you the requirements, qualifications. They're super simple and they cost you nothing. So fulfill that and we'll get rolling with the partnership and we can do videos like this for you. Okay, in this video, like I said, we're going to look at Kinsta. We're going to spin up a site together, go through the Kinsta dashboard. While the site is spinning up, we'll jump over to the Kinsta website and just quickly touch on a few points. Okay, so here we are in the Kinsta dashboard, and there's one little bit more of housekeeping. Sorry, this is the first extended look video I've done for the channel, so eventually I'll have this nailed down. But we have a no affiliation policy, so in the description of the video, of this video, as it's going to sit in the YouTube channel, we'll have no affiliate links, and there's no sponsorships. We are not paid to create videos like this. Okay, so I'm going to get that out of the way. All right, so here we are in a fresh Kinsta dashboard. No sites are installed at this point, so clean slate. So what we're going to do for now is this create that site, let it spin up, and then we'll come back and talk about some stuff. Okay, so we're just going to click on create a site. We're under this WordPress sites tab, and we're going to click create a site. Then we're going to choose install WordPress, give our site a name. We're going to choose the data center. In this case, we're going to choose South Carolina. And you'll notice here that the word boosted is next to the data center name. That means that it has newly refreshed hardware and these are one of the fastest data centers that Kinsta offers. Over time, the other data centers become boosted, and then the ones that are boosted now eventually get boosted again. And it's just like a never-ending cycle of refresh of hardware, okay? But you want to try to choose a boosted data center if it's applicable to you and what you're doing. Try to choose that boosted data center because there are times when not everything can be cached and you want your server to be able to be performant in those cases, okay? So we're going to go ahead and choose South Carolina and choose continue. Give our site a name again. So one of them is the name within the dashboard, and then the one in the My Kinsta dashboard, and the other one is the site name that's actually the site for your site itself, which is what we're doing here. All right, I'm gonna put an admin username in there. I'll put in a password. Put in an admin email address. And we're going to roll with the English language. And then you have the option of installing some plugins here. We're just going to skip that and choose continue. Okay, so while this spins up, let's jump over to the Kinsta website and just touch on a few points. So again, it's Kinsta. It's managed WordPress hosting. That is a different type of hosting. It's a focus on support and some other aspects. So it's not just your typical hosting or shared hosting. It's a tier above those, if you will. Typically, when you look at reviews on a website, depending on what that entity is, the reviews you could be a little skeptical of. But here we see some nice reviews from G2 and Trustpilot. So that's reviews that you can generally trust, right? So moving on down here, I want to draw attention to this area right here again to show those G2 awards, the Trustpilot awards and whatnot. And then down at the bottom here, we see some really important security and privacy certifications. So Kinsta takes security and privacy super seriously, as they state here. To get this level of certification, it's a lot of effort. I don't know the percentage of the top tier web hosts that have all of these. So I can't really speak to that, but I'm just going to say that to get these is not an easy feat, and it is a commitment and an investment to make that happen. So you can place a lot of trust in Kinsta here. Okay. If it's something that is enticing to you, Kinsta has an affiliate program. If we go over here to their pricing, you can check that out. They've got single site plans, multi-site plans. They have a really nice agency program. And then looks like some discounts if you choose annual versus paying monthly. Another thing that Kinsta is really known for, besides their amazing security, privacy stance, their support, top notch, is their documentation. So if you go under docs here, I mean, it's just really, really robust and answers a ton of your questions without you having to go to support. But if you ever do have to go to support, then obviously, as I've stated a few times, it's pretty darn amazing. Okay, so that's that. I'll let you guys poke around on there. Let's go back to our Kinsta dashboard here, and our site should be finished spinning up here shortly. Actually, what we can do is we can close that. So you could conceivably go out, create a new site now, migrate a site in, while that site's building. Let's go back to our dashboard. You've got some recent activity here, some notifications. Up here in the top, you can click on the search bar. And if you have multiple sites, like an agency plan, for example, it's a really nice search bar to quickly jump through and locate your sites. And then obviously WordPress sites, that's going to be all of your sites. Under labels, you have the ability, if we go here under our user menu and go to company settings and then go to site labels, we have the ability to add multiple labels. So you could say, like if you offer website care, for example, you could do website care just to designate them as a website care client. You can go back in, add another label. Trying to think what else you could label them as. Whatever. Just put in additional labels. And then once you have those sites in there, you can then quickly locate them and sort them by labels and tasks that you're going to do. So as we see here, our site's spun up and we click into it. We then have, under the info tab here, we have the ability under labels to click on this little pencil and we can specify our labels there. Okay. Once that's done, let's go back again to our sites. Pretend you've got multiple sites here. You could then go under labels and sort those sites that have that particular label attached to them. Okay. All right. So quickly, we're at the root of the dashboard. Let's just knock this down and then we'll get into the nitty gritty within the actual site dashboard itself. So you got the main dashboard, you got the WordPress sites. If you want to create a static site, Kinsta has a really generous offering for creating free static sites. Obviously you can, there's a paid option as well. If you want to create an application, you can do that. If you want to create just a database, you can do that. If you want to manage DNS for your within your Kinsta account, you can do that right here. I recommend instead doing this at, for example, the Cloudflare level. That's how I do it. That's how I recommend it. If you get into doing it here, imagine if you ever needed to take your hosting elsewhere. It's nice to have it in a place like Cloudflare where you can free and easily move your hosting without having to worry about where your DNS is hosted. Okay. So that's something to think about. Okay. So let's go back to our WordPress sites. And before we go into our site, let's do a couple other things. There's going to be a request up here where you can do a request migration. Like I said, this is a super robust migration request system. Definitely check that out if you have an existing site you need to bring over. And everything else is pretty much self-explanatory here. You can configure your settings. Like if you want to do 2FA, which I highly recommend you do, you can set that up right here. Just toggle that 2FA and set that up however you prefer to set up your 2FA. Yeah, some other things you can do here. Connect to GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and so on. You can also set up how you want to configure your notifications. If you want to be notified for potential overages, if you want to be in the Kinsta newsletter, their feature update newsletter, if you want to get invoices via email, if you want them to send you invitations to be a part of the research so you could test new things before it's made available to the public, you can do that. WordPress site monitoring, if you want to get alerts, like if there's something, your site's down or something else like that, you can do that. Then under company settings, you can get in here and you can mess with the billing. If you're part of the affiliate program, change your payment methods, see your invoices, invite people. So here's where you can invite users. And this is a pretty robust system as well. You can give them granular access, whether it's to production or even staging. And then again, you can do those site levels, and then you can get a user activity, so you can see what's going on within your account on a user basis. Okay, let's get into the actual site stuff now. So let's go into our site. So we're just going to click on it. Under the info tab, we've got the data center location, our site name, the labels we already went over, the environmental details, so your IP address, WordPress version, external IP address, and so on and so forth. You got the information to connect over SFTP or SSH, and they provide you nice pre-configured settings here that you can actually download and import into your, like for example, FileZilla. If you want to get into your FTP, SFTP, they give you a nice download option here. Download the zip, extract it, bring it right back up into FileZilla, and you're good. You can lock things down by IP address if you want. Here's all your database information. If you want to jump right into PHPMyAdmin, they give you the credentials to copy over there. You can lock that down by IP as well. If you want to set up a reverse proxy, there's that ability as well. There's a monthly cost for that. They show your PHP memory available to you there. If you ever want to transfer this site to another Kinsta account, for example, it's super simple. It's just a matter of supplying your company ID, and it's just super fast and seamless. This is a really neat feature that allows you to eliminate a potential plugin. So this reset site option is going to allow you to nuke all your files, your databases, your staging environments, and just kind of start clean here. So you don't have to like delete the site necessarily and then recreate it from scratch. And then of course you've got the option just to delete the site from your account entirely. Under domains, they give you a temporary domain to use. Obviously in production, you're going to want to put a vanity domain on here. So you just come over here and it's super simple. Click add domain, put your domain name in there, and then you're going to go through a verification process within your DNS. Then you're going to set that to your primary domain, and you're off and running. It's really easy to do. They give you a lot of nice documentation. Of course, support is available to you. Then they give you some nice links here to open your website on the front end or go over to your WordPress dashboard. Under backups, Kinsta has a very robust backup system, lots of options for you. They're going to create a daily backup for you automatically. You can jump in here and it's an extra charge, but you can set up hourly backups. You can create up to 5 manual backups at a time. So let's say you get to that 5th one, you need to create another manual backup for whatever reason. You just need to delete that oldest backup and then create a new one. System generated, if Kinsta ever detects something that's going on wonky behind the scenes, they'll just generate a backup on your behalf and you'll have that there. External, this is a very inexpensive way to back up to Amazon S3 or Google Cloud Storage. And then lastly, there's a download option. So you can manually on the fly create a backup and download it to your workstation. It's available to, once per week. So there are some limitations, once per week, and it'll be available for you to download for 24 hours. Okay, moving on. Very robust tools here as well. If you need to restart your PHP, if you need to debug WordPress, you can just click that button. This is one of my favorite tools, search and replace. This replaces the need for a search and replace plugin. Just punch in whatever it is, whatever value you need to replace, and put in whatever value you want to put in its place and click replace and you're good to go. I always recommend creating a manual backup before you do that. You've got some new relic monitoring available to you. You can password protect your entire website. Force HTTPS, which I recommend you just do that. You should just do that. Assume you're going to do that. There's a geolocation option with the click of a button. Ion Cube Loader with the click of a button. You can easily change up, down, upgrade, downgrade your PHP version. So I would go to the latest version of PHP available to you. In this case, it's PHP 8.3. It's going to give you the latest security and performance updates. You just need to make sure that your technologies, your stack works with that version. Let's say you do upgrade to 8.3, you notice an issue, you can easily downgrade with the click of a button, okay? You're also going to get a staging environment, so that's where you should test your PHP server upgrade, downgrade changes. So for that, let's go ahead and do that, and we'll come back here. So if you see, click on this live button here, and then you're going to click on this create new environment. And then we're going to choose a standard environment here, but you can pay for a premium staging environment. And what that means is it's going to mimic all of the resources available on your production site. So whatever plan it is you have with Kinsta, you're going to get that same power in your premium environment. Just mimics that. Whereas with the standard environment, it's free and it's more stripped back. You don't get the performance that you get on your live sites. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click continue there and just get that site started. We're going to clone the existing environment. We're just going to call it staging. And we're going to choose to clone our live environment and click continue. But you do have the options to just install a new WordPress instance or empty without WordPress at all, okay? So we're going to click continue here. Let that staging build. Let's go back to our tools. And next up is the ability to remove set cookie headers. So as it says here, use this tool to enable or disable removing set cookie headers from cached responses. We're not going to get into all the individual stuff here because this video will go on forever. So we're just going to touch on the high level points. Site preview, once you migrate a site in or just, you want to look at the site as it is before, you want to see it as the whole world sees it without, having to mess with DNS and whatnot. That's what this tool allows you to do. As you see here, when it says environment is blocked, that means something is going on behind the scenes. Staging in this case is what we're creating. It's blocking some certain actions. All right. Early hints is an option for you to put on here. You can also do this in a Cloudflare account too. Totally up to you where you choose to do that. I tend to do that on the Cloudflare side of things, but that's because I like to do things at the edge versus on the server where possible. And then last up in this section is Dev Kinsta. You can download a tool to your local workstation where you can develop your website locally, and then it talks to the dashboard here. So if optional, that's not mandatory, it's optional. Redirects, super powerful system for redirects. I do recommend you do redirects at the edge level. So again, Cloudflare in this case, try to do your redirects at that level and keep that off of your server. Free up your server resources for other things. If you have to do redirects, the next best thing is at the server level, which you see here, as opposed to the application level, which would be WordPress. So try not to do your redirects at the WordPress application level if you can. So Kinsta gives you a really nice option here. So you shouldn't need a redirects plugin, okay? Plugin and themes, this is a really nice place where you can activate and deactivate plugins and themes and see what's installed without having to go to your WordPress dashboard. Add-ons, if you need to add additional disk space, do some premium staging environments, mess with your PHP and memory, do the reverse proxy, do Redis caching, set up hourly backups, do external backups. That section is for that. IP deny, if you want to get in here and lock things down even further, you can do that. As it says here, dealing with bots, spammers, hackers, whatever. It's just a way to lock things down. Analytics, you can see how much worth of resources the website is using. See the visits, the disk space usage, the bandwidth. You can check out some performance metrics, and so on and so forth. Then you can sort by 24 hours, past 30 days, past 7 days. Moving on over to caching. There are multiple levels of caching. Kinsta allows you to not need a caching plugin, which is just a really beautiful thing. So you've got the edge caching, which sits out there at the edge. It's served from the edge, works alongside Cloudflare, just to keep people from hitting your server that much more. And you've got some nice options here. If you want to use it for mobile cache, you can clear the cache from here, and so on and so forth. Moving over to the CDN. So that is outside the edge. So that is the CDN level, like the Cloudflare level. So you've got the CDN sitting out there. Then you've got the next level in towards your website is the edge, which is the edge caching. And then you've got the server level caching, which is what we're looking at here. So you've got those multiple layers. And then, like I said, you don't need the plugin caching at this point, which would be the application level. So that is what all of these levels of caching is for here. Okay. Going back to the CDN, we see the ability for image optimization. So if you click into here, you can set a lossless or lossy option, and Kinsta is going to help you serve your image in an optimal format, okay, where possible. All right. Server caching, here you can change the expiration. You want to try to keep your cache intact for as long as possible, so you just need to figure out what works best for you. Every 24 hours is a short period of time. Try to get that out there further and keep that cache intact, so you're serving your assets as quickly as possible to your visitors. Okay. And if you have Redis cache going, then that's where this would be set up. APM is an advanced performance monitoring tool. It's kind of geeky stuff, but you can get in there and really see what's causing slowdowns on your website and all that kind of stuff. User management, this is where you can quickly invite people to your site. You can set whether they get site administrator level access or they're just a developer. Yeah, really cool stuff there. Again, user activity, you can see what all is going on based on each user's activity. So that's a nice feature. And then last step here, we have logs. So there's an error log, there's a Kinsta cache log, so you can see what's, if that cache is getting hit, where it's missing, and kind of work out the details there. And then there's a nice access log here for security purposes and all that good stuff. There's a lot going on. One thing that I really love about the Kinsta dashboard is just, it's beautiful to look at. It's easy to use, easy to navigate. It's not cluttered. It's just beautiful, really beautiful to work with. And I really like it. I think that about covers it, guys. And like I said, if you have an entity, whatever that may be, hosting, a community, a plugin, a theme, podcast, whatever it is, and you would like a video like this created where we just walk through at a high level everything that's offered and, history about, the business maybe, or just walking through the website and the pricing or anything that you've seen in this video, sign up to be a partner. It's absolutely free to do so, and it's super easy. And hope to see you as a partner and catch you in the next video.